Oh, look. It's Lakai, a.k.a. Toogie. A.k.a. Toogie. Oh, we're not going to get too close to him. People might be asking about, you know, because I know that I talked about them in the webcast, about the fact that we are going to be giving them their space while they're getting accustomed to their new settings. Understand that in, like, we are going to try to be able to get close, like we here at CARE, like the workers and whatnot. We are going to be socializing with these guys, but we are going to be prioritizing that. We are not going to be prioritizing like our filming and whatnot. So just to still, like, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be things like distant, like he's right there, but as the relationship gets closer, as things get a little bit better, you'll see better and more close up and more kind of HD kind of things. That's just going to be a slow progression over time. So it's like you'll, like, as they thought, like you'll see more of them. That's how that's going to be. That is how that's going to be. I was tweeting about Nickelodeon takes over your school. It was just like, because sometimes you'll like see the hashtags. You'll see the Twitter hashtags, and one of the hashtags was make yourself feel better in 5 words, or makes the day better. And I think I said like Nickelodeon. I found a picture of Mark Summers carrying like a Nickelodeon flag, and I just tweeted that. But then I started thinking about that feeling. Oh my gosh, wasn't like that was like the thing. That was kind of mostly, yeah, it was like in the 90s. There was a Nickelodeon is gonna come and they're gonna, man, and one of the teachers is gonna get slimed. We can meet Melissa Joan Hart. Oh my gosh, the Roundhouse, they're doing a dance. Oh, this is so amazing. Mr. McCoy, the English teacher, is going to be doing a double dare. This is the best week ever. That was the thing. It's like you just like just like hoped and just prayed, like, oh, you fantasized about it. You thought, like, what would it be like if Nickelodeon came and took over my school? It's like Gollum. Gollum. You hoarded over the idea. You hoarded over the concept. And it's like, precious. Yes. Precious. Just the concept, the idea that Nick would come. That's just how you have to understand. And maybe some of you younger ones are like, all right, well, I remember I kind of grew up watching like some Nicktoons or some Nickelodeon stuff like that. It's, yeah, there was whatever and everything. I'm telling you, if you were like a young kid in the 90s, it was life, gack. Just put the gack in my veins. Put it in my veins. Oh, I'm not afraid of the dark. So, yeah. Hello, all you fancy people. We still have a little bit of daylight left, so I'm going to try to get as much filmed as I can before this starts to look like absolute shit, because it will. It will. Things will start getting, because it's still good right now. We still got enough light right now. But you give it maybe like another like 10 or 15 minutes and things are going to start getting all grainy. Just looking just like trash. So, that last Fancycast we did, that got a lot of people talking. Got a lot of you talking. I got to hear a lot from you. And I, like, some of you folks that really shared like some big parts of your lives, stories. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It gives me a greater degree of understanding, gives me a greater degree of appreciation for the different stories and the different experiences, the different lives that people lead who are part of this community, part of the pride, part of the greater you know, content universe, you could say. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you being open and discussing some of those things. And I'm glad that the conversation that I was able to have maybe kind of sparked something in you. And it seems to have led to a meaningful, some form of meaningful dialogue. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. I'm very happy for that. So I just want to acknowledge, I wanted to talk about that really quick. I wanted to acknowledge those individuals who really, really, just, some gave some pretty, some pretty harrowing and just kind of rough accounts of some of the different things that they've had to deal with and some of the different things that they've had to struggle with and people that they know and just, yeah, life, man. Life. So, back to the fancy. Back to the fancy. People are using artificial intelligence to put famous people's faces on porn actor and porn star bodies. That's a thing. That's happening. That's happening. And it's becoming more and more convincing. It's becoming more and more difficult to spot. I saw an article, or actually multiple articles about it, where people are like, yeah, this is the thing. And then inside, this is, yeah, and because I was talking to someone, and I said, like, yeah, well, I saw some of these clips. And then it's just like, oh, so this is kind of what you're doing for, well, and it's, that's like, well, anyway, besides the point. Anyway, no, they had some clips embedded in the articles that basically said, like, this is a fake, like, this is not a real thing. But it was a number of clips of very, and okay, it was, like there's parts of like kind of porno scenes where things are starting to like steam up, and then it's like, hey, right when the pizza's here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, pizza guy's here. It's like right before things like start to happen. It's kind of like that, and basically very recognizable, like traditional kind of like TV and movie stars. And then they were now like performing. They were in basically the clips that they showed were like the precursor to them, like, whoa, excuse me. Wow, that was Allie kind of smacking on Archie. Something to understand is that when they're in the throes of passion, when they're mating, the cat's penis actually has spiked protrusions on it, and it has to actually kind of dig at certain kind of membranes for things to work. There's a lot of kind of weird pleasure pain that kind of goes along with the act of cats and mating. That's what that's all about. So yeah. But basically, there were these scenes of like someone was about to do some flashing or something like that, or someone was about to do something dirty, but it's like, I said again, it's like a really recognizable star, and it's like, and then it says like, this is a fake clip, like this is not real, and it's like this. It was strange. It was bizarre, because it was actually, it was difficult to, like, it's hard for me to tell. And you have to understand, okay, amateurs, like people with just regular laptops, and like just some advanced software programs, they're doing this. And all it takes is like what they're doing is they're taking like some still images, some video clips of some of these actors and actresses, and they're putting into their machine learning kind of software, algorithm, programs, whatever, and then basically they are stitching and combining and whoa, all these cats, what, they are so voluminous. Hey, Rasta, he's just trying to be nice. Rasta. Hey, come here. Rasta, leave him alone. Come here, baby. What is the matter? What's the matter with you? You know what? I wonder, this actually might be it. This actually might be it, because a lot of times the cats, when they go into like heat, like a number of cats will start cycling at the same time. And I think Rasa is still intact? Maybe. I don't know. But if that's the case, and he's over there, and like there's no mix, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's just like, get over here and do stuff. Actually, I think Rasa's not. I think Rasa's fixed. I have to ask Heidi. Yeah, I think so, because I believe that she had, I do think that she had a pyometra, which ended up having to be, like, her uterus had to be removed, so that, yeah, different, so she doesn't cycle the same way. Oh, gosh. Okay, there's a point that I am trying to get to. We have to kind of go through the woods a little bit more, as far as some of this porn and smut talk is concerned. But it's just regular people. And all they're doing is taking a couple of just like, maybe like an actor or an actress is like they're giving a press conference, or they're at a red carpet, or they're just giving an interview. And they're taking just regular clips that you can find anywhere. And then they are putting them into their computer. And then the computer is like doing the work of stitching that actor's image onto the bodies of these other, you know, entertainers. And the technology is just getting better. If you think that it's going to stop with that, if you think because this is where it's really starting. And it's the funny thing, because erotica has always historically been one of the biggest propellants of technology. You can, like, so many different elements of smartphone devices. Like, you can thank the proliferation of HD TVs and just HD technology due to early internet porn connoisseurs wanting to have more clarity to the things that they were viewing. Even going back as far as like the printing press. I mean, like Johannes Gutenberg's printing press. Some of the first books, of course, that they printed were the Bible, and some of the next series of books were like erotica novels. They're like, oh my gosh, these printing presses are pretty dope, right? Yeah. We can get ye old smuts to the townsfolk faster. But it's true. It's true. And now we're seeing like this whole like explosion of like virtual reality, the stuff that's going on. You know, it's just, I got my finger on the pulse of a lot of different things. I love internet culture, okay? I read a lot of Reddit. People are like, Derek, what are you reading? Like, yeah, no, I'm very fascinated about all this stuff. You know, goes all over the place. It's all over the place. But something that you have to understand, sure, it starts off with something like, oh, it's the smuts, it's the porn, it's the people putting faces on other people. Oh my gosh, but now, let's say the technology, and we've talked about the exponential growth of information-based technology, and technological developments these days, they happen so fast, they happen lightning quick. They go from beta to like fully operational mega mode in just very small jumps, very small iterations. Think about what this next election cycle is going to look like. Think about all of the people who, like whether it be politicians or like figureheads or public people, public officials, who are going to then have their likeness, who are going to have their image placed onto the body of, like, you know, doubles or actors who are perpetrating you know, scandalous or heinous acts or something like that. There's also software programs that are being developed now where you can just have a few samples of a person's like visual, like not visual, but auditory, like just them talking, and then now you have software programs who are able to very faithfully recreate the actual voice of a person. So now you have the ability to have something get digitally stitched very easily with the computer, and also the voice. So what's to say that you were just like, oh my God, you think fake news is a thing now? It's going to be, and then we're going to have to develop some very, you know, equally sophisticated tools in order to see past this stuff and be able to tell if things are fakes or forgeries. But there's going to be, when this stuff, it's kind of like how there was a little bit of time when Facebook took off, like before your Aunt Karen like found out about it. When it was like still like, you know, kind of like, oh, it's kind of like part of like the internet culture, like like we kind of know. There's always going to be like the people who are at the forefront of like those technological advances and like internet kind of stuff. There's going to be instances of people, possibly like a number of people, getting their lives absolutely ruined because of this technology. Just mark my words, because there's so many different times where it doesn't matter if you found, like, you could just take a, man, I'm trying to think of just like a for some reason I'm thinking, okay, there's security camera footage of people like actively pushing other people onto train tracks. Like, it sometimes happens, like in New York and stuff like that. Maybe you get just like kind of like a crazy homeless person. I mean, it happens. It sucks and it's frightening but it happens. Now, like, imagine if you were able to just like take that raw footage and then you just like take like Guy Fieri's face. Just put it like, and then now you can just get people thinking, just like in maybe like a 24-hour news cycle, it's like, Guy Fieri like pushed this guy off of some train tracks. And then people will start thinking about it, even if eventually it was refuted. It was refuted. It's not true. Not true. And then you know, now you got people who are like, regardless of whether it has, they're still going to think that it is true because they never got never got the truth facts. They never got the right facts. You know, they're just like, aren't you the guy? Like, okay, you're the Flavortown guy, but didn't you also push that guy onto the, like, how did you not go to jail? This is the type of things I'm talking about. And I'm sure that you can probably cook up like a number of other, you know, very unsettling examples as well. I didn't want to get too like weird, you know, with that type of stuff. But yeah, it's a thing that people are going to have to start thinking about, and it's like, it's based on stuff that's being developed now, because people are they're only looking at what's happening now, just like, oh my gosh, they can take this person's face and put it on that person's body. But then here's the other thing also, where maybe you have someone who has like their cell phone hacked, and then they actually have like a sex tape of them. It get uploaded to the internet, and just all they got to be is just like, that's AI. This wasn't me. Wasn't me. Like, I didn't do that. Nope. And then people are like, oh, I guess they didn't do it. Oh, it's a weird world that we live in, man. It is so strange, isn't it? It's just bizarre that these are the conversations that we have to start having now. That this is the type of stuff that that's going on. But yeah. Anywho, I think that we had you know, it was a slightly shorter fancy cast, but I think it was a pretty decent one. We were able to kind of get around and, you know, oh my goodness. We were able to kind of go around and get around and do some stuff and see some things and cats and all that shit. So yeah. I appreciate you folks subscribing, for giving your hard-earned dollary dues for this content, and yeah. We'll see you next time. All right. Bye-bye.